Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello everyone and welcome to your English class. In our lesson today, we will continue with our second unit, which is titled Take My Advice. Our lesson today is the writing lesson in your books, page 26 and 27. All you need for the lesson today is your books, page 26 and 27, a sheet of paper and a pen to take down your notes. So let's get started. From the reading lesson, you had a homework in your books on page 93. It was exercise I. You will look at the pictures. The younger man is asking his father for advice. Decide what advice is about. So you will imagine that you are listening to the conversation between the father and his son, and what is the problem that is being discussed. Then based on that one, you will come up with a list of advice. Let's decide that they are talking about the idea of choosing a university. The son is about to attend university and he's asking his father for advice. At the beginning, the first part, number 1, complete the chart with as many words as you can about choosing a university, a father and his son. It is divided into 3 categories. The first one is about nouns, verbs, and we're having adjectives. Can you come up with any noun? I have thought about father, also son. I have thought about the idea of problem because we're discussing an issue, a decision, skills, and also interests. How about the verbs, action verbs? I will use consider to think about, also think, change, and choose. You can come up with any verb that you are about to choose. Or use adjectives. I will use careful, the best, suitable, also exciting, fast, and also I have fast. These are some of the suggestions that you can use, and you can use your own. Now let's try to use these words to come up with the advice in the second part. Number 2, what advice does the father give his son? Write sentences using some of the words that you have listed already. You can come up with the advice, the thing that we have to focus on, how to form advice or suggestion. For me, I have got this advice. You had better think carefully about what you want to do. Think about what you want to do or the job that you want to start after finishing your university. Also, why don't you decide according to your skills, background, and preferences? Why don't you do something? Also, I would advise you to ask your school advisor. Also, you ought to consider where the university is. So for these are some of the advice in relation to the idea of choosing a university. If we will change choosing a university into a different topic, maybe we will speak about choosing an apartment or a house or moving to another city, the advice will be changed. However, the use of you had better, you must, you should will stay the same. Okay, for our lesson today, the writing lesson, by the end of today's lesson, you will be able to take notes on a written text. We will have a text, then you will analyze it into notes. And also you will be able to write an advice letter. You write a letter, however, this one is going to be for advice. Let's get started. At the beginning in here, would you like to move to another place? Ask yourself this question. Am I happy where I am? Do I want to move to another school or to another city? If yes, where do you want to move? I want to move to a different city, to be very close to my family. Or I know a friend who is in another city who's saying good things about it, and I want to move to that city. Speaking about your school, are you happy where you study? Maybe you will say, I want to move to a different school where my friends are, or I have heard good things about them. Okay, what would you miss the most if you moved to another place? Let's imagine that you have moved to another city from the place where you are. Who or what you would miss the most? Something that you feel that you want to go back to see him, her, or it. If you leave your parents in this city or in this place, I will miss them the most. If I move from this school to another school, I will miss my friends the most. Or maybe you will say, I will miss my friends. If you move to another place or a house, I will miss my house. Okay. Do you have friends who live in another city or a country? We all have. We know someone who's living in another place, who lives in another city, who studies at another school or in another country. How do you communicate with them? I want to send them letters. What do? Do you text them? Do you send them emails? Or how do you communicate with them? Each one person is having a different preference. I like to send emails because I can write everything in one sheet or in one place. Some others will say, no, I like to record videos. Others will say, no, I like to text them. Okay? For in your books now on page 26, I want to check the letter that we've got in here. You will listen to the letter from someone to another, and you will answer these questions. Who sent the letter? Who? You will find a name, someone's name. Who is the writer of this letter? Number 2, to whom he or she is sending this letter to? Another person. Who's that person? And why is he or she sending this letter? What is the main purpose? Is he inviting him to a party, or asking for help, or doing what? So you will listen for general information, the whole idea. Let's listen together.
Dear Faisal, I hope you have had a good school year. I am sorry I haven't written sooner, but it has been very busy and difficult for all of us. Moving to a different city has not been easy. I miss you and all our friends. I have made some friends at my new school, but I am still considered the new student, so I never get invited anywhere. I tried to invite some of my classmates during the holiday, but only one turned up. The rest didn't even call to let me know that they couldn't come. I have tried to be nice to everyone and give them and myself time to get to know each other, but nothing has come of it. I have been feeling down for some time and I can't concentrate. My grades have dropped and I have gained a lot of weight because I get no exercise. They won't let me play football with them. I feel like giving up on everything. All I do is go to school, come back home, do my homework, and play video games on my own. I don't know what to do. If you have any tips, please write and tell me what to do and what not to do. I can't think straight any longer. Hope to see you soon. Nasser.
So, who is the writer of this letter? Who wrote this letter? It is actually from Nasser. By the very end, he has signed his name Nasser. And he is sending this letter to whom? To his friend Faisal. So this letter is written to Faisal from Nasser. The speaker here is Nasser. And why is he sending this letter? The main idea or the main purpose, it is actually he's asking for advice because he's having certain problems. So to ask for advice, you can find out at the very beginning and at the very end, he's asking for advice. What should I do? Do you have any tips? He's asking for advice. Now we have agreed that the main idea of the letter is to ask for advice. You will listen one more time, and this time you will summarize Nasser's problems. He's not having one. He have listed them when you are reading while listening to the letter. Listen again and tell what are his problems. Let's listen together.
Dear Faisal, I hope you have had a good school year. I am sorry I haven't written sooner, but it has been very busy and difficult for all of us. Moving to a different city has not been easy. I miss you and all our friends. I have made some friends at my new school, but I am still considered the new student, so I never get invited anywhere. I tried to invite some of my classmates during the holiday, but only one turned up. The rest didn't even call to let me know that they couldn't come. I have tried to be nice to everyone and give them and myself time to get to know each other, but nothing has come of it. I have been feeling down for some time and I can't concentrate. My grades have dropped and I have gained a lot of weight because I get no exercise. They won't let me play football with them. I feel like giving up on everything. All I do is go to school, come back home, do my homework, and play video games on my own. I don't know what to do. If you have any tips, please write and tell me what to do and what not to do. I can't think straight any longer. Hope to see you soon. Nasser.
Okay, so what are the problems that he listed? He said that he misses all his friends from the old school. He missed them. Also, he is considered the new student, although he has spent a long time with them, even though they are calling him the new student. Also, he is excluded from the group. He's always by himself. No one invites him and no one talks to him. Excluded, away from each other. Also, he is not invited anywhere. If they're having a meeting or they're having a party or going out together, they will never ask him to come with them. He tried himself. When he invited classmates, only one turned up. He tried it himself and he said, why not I will invite them. Then when he invited them, no one came or turned up. Only one turned up, and none of them called to say that they couldn't come. Also, they won't let him participate in the football team. They have a football team and he is not part of that football team. These are some of the problems. He gained weight, his mark dropped, and many other things happened to him. These are some of Nasser's problem. Now in your books, page 27 here, exercise C. Read the letter again and make notes in the organizer. If you want to fill out an organizer, you have to know what you are about to write in this organizer. At the beginning, you will come up with the problem. Summarize the problem. You can choose one of them, or you will summarize the whole in one sentence or phrase. Then, the causes. Why do you think these problems happened? And by the end, you will come up with your own advice. Choose the advice. Let's get from the letter, we can come up with the problem. We can summarize it as, he is unhappy and bored. He misses his friends. He can't adjust to the new school. This is a summary of all the things that happened. He's not happy, he couldn't adjust or getting along with his new friends, and also the other, adjust with his new school. So because he misses the old one, he can't adjust or get along, find new friends. Why do you think we're having such a problem with Nasser? I would say the causes of the problem, he has not been accepted by his classmates. He is rejected. Everyone tells him, go away, we don't want you to be our friend. He is not invited anywhere. That's why he feels bored and lonely. He is not invited. When they are gathering or they will go together, they will leave him alone. Also, he is not allowed to participate in the football team. If he could join the football team or participate in the football matches, he would feel better. What advice can we give to Nasser? So we will help Faisal write his letter. We can say that he could talk to one of his classmates, the one who turned up the invitation. He could talk to that one. Also, he might talk to the school counselor. The school counselor or the advisor, they are always there. If you are a new student, just go to them and tell them that you are having a difficulty talking, finding a friend, or getting along in this new school. Any other advice? You can come up with any advice that you have heard or have been said to you. Okay, we're also having in here, yes, the writing corner on page 27. Because we are about to write an advice letter, here are some tips to if you want to reply to someone who needs advice. The first thing that we will do to write a letter of advice, the first thing or the first advice for you is to repeat or echo. What do you mean when you repeat or echo? Show the reader that you have listened and understood their problem. You will repeat the problem one more time. So, in the situation of Faisal writing to Nasser, he is going to repeat the problem one more time. I know that you couldn't adjust to the new situation. You couldn't get along with friends. Summarize it in your own words. Do not repeat the same words. Use your own words. Also, we're having the other one. Acknowledge feelings. What is acknowledging? Give them the sense that put yourself in the person's place. If I were in your place, how would I feel? I wouldn't feel happy at all. You can use words or phrases like, I am really sorry to hear that you couldn't get along with friends. I understand how it feels or how you feel. I would feel the same way. You feel bad? If I were you, I would feel worse. I don't understand why people do this sort of things. I don't understand why they won't welcome a newcomer. So acknowledge feelings. Don't tell them, why would you do this or that? Next, do not judge. They turn to you, so be polite and be compassionate with them. Don't judge. Try to give help. Otherwise, don't reply. Do not dictate to tell them, do this. No, we're not going to be very rude to them. We have to be polite. So, show empathy, make suggestions. Give them suggestions what they should do. Maybe you would say, I think maybe you should do this or that. How about a school counselor? Have you tried to do this or that? It's hard to imagine what it feels like when you are alone. I wouldn't like to be in your place. So do not dictate, try to give advice or suggestions. It will feel polite. Also, by the end, give a closure, a polite closure. You will give a helpful note. Maybe you will say, I believe you will deal with this in your own wonderful way. Also, you can say, I have seen you do it before. If you know the one who sent you the letter, I know and I have seen you did it before. Okay. Now in your book's page 27, we're having exercise 6. You will write your letter of advice to a person with the problem. Now we are going to help Faisal reply to Nasser's letter. The problem will be getting along with friends. This is the problem, the summary of the problem. Getting along with friends. So, before we start, let me remind you with how to start writing or the writing process. You're now going to start with free writing. You have to organize your ideas. The first thing is planning. How am I going to write? What am I going to write? Is it advice letter? Am I going to write an advice letter, or it is you are showing your problem? Then drafting. Write all your ideas down. Then we will go to the editing part, choosing some of those ideas. Later, we will go to the revision or the revising part, in which we're going to put all the right things together, and by the end is submitting or publishing your writing. You will be almost done. So, in here, when you repeat or echo with a problem to Nasser, I will say, I am really sorry to hear that you can't get along with friends. You can't adjust to the new situation. Acknowledge feelings. I will say, I know how it feels to be isolated and ignored. You have all the right to feel so. Don't judge. I will say, I am sure you have tried the best you could. I trust that you have done the best. Make suggestions. I will say, have you tried talking to the school counselor? I will give suggestions. Have you tried to do this or that? How about a closure? I will say, I am sure things are getting better. I have seen you do things, similar things before. These are, we have put our ideas down. Later in here, I will organize my ideas. At the beginning, I will repeat the problem and acknowledge feelings. Later on, I will make suggestions and give advice. And by the very end, I will go to the closure idea. So I have got my sentences, my organization. Now we will take them one by one. For repeating the problem and acknowledging feelings, I will say, I am really sorry to hear that you can't get along. I know how it feels to be isolated and ignored. I started with repeating the problem one more time. Then I acknowledge feeling. You have all the right to feel so. Then making suggestions, giving advice. What would I say in here? I would say, I am sure you have tried the best you could. But have you tried talking to the school counselor? Here I gave a suggestion and also gave advice. By the end, I will speak about the closure. I will say, I am sure things are getting better. I have seen you do it before. Now I'll put them all together in here and I will say, before we go into here, we will start with the writing rules. I got all the ideas all organized together. Now we have to follow these rules to come up with a correctly written paragraph form. The one first thing, notice always your ideas. You are replying to a letter, someone who needs advice. You have to write you are following the rules. Also, paragraph. If you're writing it in two or three different paragraphs, make sure that each one paragraph is about one different idea. Then the grammar. If you're using the present, use the present. If you're using the past, only use the past. If you are writing advice, follow the rule for writing advice. Spelling. By the end, you have to check your spelling. Also, the capitalization. If you are referring to someone, write their names in capital. The capitalization, you will revisit the rule of mint, the M-I-N-T. Then punctuations, when to write a comma, a question mark, a full stop, or a comma or apostrophe. Okay, we've got our ideas. So here, we're having someone who's unhappy, worried, he misses his friends and can't adjust to the new school. At the beginning, hello Nasser, and I want you to notice that we are using after hello, you will use a comma in here. Then, I am sorry to hear that you can't get along. I know you are friendly and easygoing. I understand how it feels to be isolated and ignored. Let's check it together. At the beginning, we have to use a capital I. I am really sorry to hear that you can't get along. Maybe we can use a comma in here. Here, I know you are. Notice the F. Can we use a capital F here? It is at the beginning of the line, not at the beginning of the sentence, so small f. I understand how it feels to be isolated and ignored. So we have corrected this. I am sure you have, let's add here an apostrophe. I have tried the best you could. You must have tried your best to talk to your classmates. Then let's use a comma in here. But have you tried talking to the school counselor? He or she must have something to do or say. The following. I am sure things are getting better and you will email me soon telling me that you are busy going out with friends. I have seen you do it before when we first joined the football team, and we have to add a full stop by the very end in here. And do not forget to sign your name in here, which is Faisal in this situation. Okay, once you finish, try to revisit page 124 to check with this table whether you are doing great, good, okay, or you need to work more on it. They are actually. Can you take notes and use the notes to write? Ask yourself this question, whether you are good, great, okay, or need to work. Respond to someone's feelings and views. How they feel, you will respond, I know how it feels. Also, advise your others in friendly manner. Acknowledge their feelings and be polite when you are acknowledging them. Form and write clear sentences. Can everyone understand your sentence? Also, organize and explain suggestions well. How you're going to organize them, what to put first and what to put next. Be helpful without being patronizing. Do not, I know that you are doing this all the time. Do not patronize. Also, close on a hopeful note. You are going to go through this one as well. And by the end, use appropriate style or language. And this time, we're not going to use formal language. We will use informal because it is an email or a letter between two friends. Okay? For your homework, refer to your books on page 94. Your books, page 94, we're having an exercise J. Exercise J, it's about to read the problem and come up with advice. Okay? I guess that is it for the lesson today, and thank you so much for your time.